cheers. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. Getting sexy as hell as usual. And yeah, thought I'd change of shirts. I've got people who seem really bothered by me wearing the same shirt a lot. The same style of shirt. I actually got four of that same shirt. So it's like, okay, I'll just rotate through some shirts to keep it interesting for people. Why not? What the heck, right? Nothing lost on my end to do that. So yeah, we'll just rotate through different shirts. Did I set this to public? Yes, we did. All right, we're public. So we'll see how long it takes to get people in here. Not really a big deal. I run the coffee chats real long. Uh, the sun's not going to be up for a couple hours. I'm definitely not training until then. Uh, Clients are all caught up. So unless I'm going to record other videos, there's not any work to do. Uh, no cleaning, no laundry, nothing I need to do. So I'll just get up and stream with you guys probably for a couple hours here. Right. And then I can do other social media posting while doing it because we can multitask like that. Right? We can multitask. Let me remember to put all this up. I got more coffee coming in this morning. But did you guys want to buy Coach coffee or protein? Those are at the top of the list. What's up, Rubio? How you doing, man? Good morning. Good. So if you're in here early hitting stuff, this will get it into people's feeds. So that's a good thing. Maybe I should do a community tab post. Let me do that too, just to really, really kick it off. Let's see if we can get a really active live. Did you guys see that little before and after I put up yesterday? That's like 30 years apart. 30 years apart. I went from fat nerd to super nerd. Right? Fat nerd to super nerd. Hold on, let's put a coffee chat. Yeah, I feel like the coffee chat's doing really well. Amazing transformation. It's coming along. You know, I find it fascinating how people on the internet will hate on me, but normal people, like people who are fairly new to lifting, fitness people will go through and I get a lot of compliments from them. Interestingly enough, women give tons of compliments. It's only dudes who have the petty insults for the most part. I think that's fascinating. Right? It's very weird. In real life, I get tons of compliments. So the internet's very strange with that to me. Reveal like it's just a bizarre situation. Right, where I get tons of hate about my physique from only dudes in fitness circles. Yet women give tons of compliments. Plenty of fans will give them, and then in real life, it's endless positive affirmation. So it's this very strange situation. And you also got to wonder in general. So let's not even make it about me. I've noticed people do it to other people. What sort of dudes go to social media to insult other men's physiques and bodies? It's very strange. I saw it's like one of the women who follows on Facebook chimed in, even on mine. She's like, I don't understand why people body shape someone like you who is like super fit. That was her comment. She didn't get it. She's like, I don't understand. She's like, I don't believe in body shaming in general. She's like, but it doesn't make any sense. And that's a valid point. You know, and I think it's the bodybuilding world has gotten so used to competitive bodybuilders, literally everyone insulting the ones they don't like or who place third, that for some reason that community has this weird thing to think that that's even remotely acceptable, right? It's not acceptable really in any other culture or society, and it really shouldn't even be in bodybuilding. You know, it shouldn't even be in bodybuilding. Um, Powerlifting, they have rules on that technically, right? And I'm not gonna say who or why, but I got a dude came and talked trash on my page. And I got him in trouble and cited in his own powerlifting federation because I was a member of it. And he came on my social media under his public profile, like making personal attacks. And it's technically the rules of the federation say that's a violation and gets you suspended. You're not allowed to, it's a breaking the rules. So he got suspended from competition for a year because, I mean, he broke the rules in the rule book. It specifically said you're not allowed to do that to other members of the federation. Okay, if you're going to go do it, then, you know. Mainly because he was such a bitch about it. I'm just like, wow. Okay. Luke says, I actually can't believe how bitchy YouTube bodybuilders are. Ironically, they're supposed to be all manly and act like catty playground mean girls. They are. Yeah, well, they're not. It's not manly, and that's the point. You know, they get so bitchy and, you know, literally going to insult another man's body. You know, and I get it if you're like, oh, you're fat, dude. Like, dudes pick on their fat friend who's, you know, legitimately fat with, you know, belly that sticks out past his titties. You know, that does happen, you know, but unless everyone in the circle's fat, you know, but realistically, it's just very strange. It's very feminine behavior, you know, very feminine behavior. The only thing I comment on is just that bodybuilding itself is hideous, or I'll comment on the side enhancement. Like, that's the one thing I will point out. Like, it's just fucking gross, dude. That's too much oil in your shoulders. Like, and it's not just because it's not visually disgusting. It's like I cringe when I see it because I'm imagining how much their shoulders fucking hurt. Like, that's pain. It's got to be really uncomfortable, you know, while the swelling goes down from that amount of shots, you know. Anyone who's ever had injection pip understands. So think about that in those shoulders, you know, with some of those guys. But it's like all serious bodybuilders now, you know. It's just, it's ubiquitous, you know. And I remember saying that years ago. People were like, what are you talking about? I don't see it. I'm like, how can you not see it? Like when the C-bone thing, I did say that. I'm like, dude, that's a lot of oil in his shoulders. Like, that's a lot. You know, and yeah, it's just got to be uncomfortable. And that's kind of the point I'm making with that. Like, it doesn't even meet bodybuilding's classic standards. Like, they're going to have something called classic bodybuilding, and they have side enhancement everywhere. It's not classic bodybuilding, you know. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I don't get the obsession in current bodybuilding with just putting so much stuff in their shoulders. It's just so much of it, you know. And I see it on reels, even in smaller dudes now, right? There's just so much side enhancement happening in those shoulders. I'll see dudes who are 180 pounds of lean, 170 pounds of lean. I'm like, dude, are you putting 3 cc's in each of your delts every week? Like, what are you guys doing? So that's not a criticism of their look so much as what in the hell are you guys doing to yourself? How was your day? Well, it's 5 a.m. I don't know how my day is going to be so far. I'm assuming it's going to be a great day. It's a Monday. We're going to do some heavy lifting. Once the sun is up, but that won't be for a couple hours. Did some of my peach coffee. I have a couple packets of a different flavor of the peach coffee coming together. I got some of those in the Amazon wish list too. I think everyone should just focus on their own physique and let the judges make the call, right? Well, see, I don't care about bodybuilding, so I could care less. I just am shocked at the amount of oil in everybody's shoulder. But it's not just, I'm not singling any one person out. I'm just saying, as someone who, when I was younger, very young man, I was a fan of more classic bodybuilding. And I don't like all the oiled shoulders, even in the classic and the men's physique. It's out of control. You know, uh, I'll get it right one day. It's all good, Dan. Um, you know, no, I agree. But that's the point, Ali. Yeah, dudes showing up on other people's social media. Just and it's not even just me. I see it happen to other people, and it's just like, what are you doing? And the funny thing is, like, there's one dude who's in my feed, and he's kind of marketing himself as a plus size fitness model, and he's a heavy boy still. Like he's not Blaha fat, like people call me fat. No, I mean the dude's over 30% body fat, but he lifts and he does all this little posing and stuff, and he gets thousands of likes. Dude, the dude, I've already calculated the numbers, and he gets all this love for it. But the dude makes, I guarantee you, his Facebook is clearing $5,000 a month. As someone who's in their monetization program, I've looked at his page. He's probably clearing $5,000 a month, and he is everything that a bunch of the haters would be making fun of. But there are people who like it, and there's clearly women who like it. Psych Happens podcast. Good morning, Psych Happens. Good morning, Santosh. But yeah, I mean, I see his stuff come through my feed, and it's working for him. It's working for him. And I'm not saying that it's healthy to be at that body fat, but at least he's lifting, and at least he's confident and happy in who he is. My art nemesis site, could you take the night shift, please? And I'll have Jason in the mornings. I mean, it is early morning. It is, like I said, it's 5 a.m. here. Stop flirting, Dad and the boys. I do got to let all the fans, a lot of the dudes get upset when I let them know this. But yeah, guys, I am actually straight. I'm strictly taco, no burrito. And yes, I do believe that we can define sexual orientation by foods. Like, I think it's appropriate. Yeah. You always got to say, I've been saying that for like a decade. A bunch of my other friends, I know some female coaches who think it's hilarious. They're like, you always do the strictly taco no burrito. Like, I'm in the fitness industry. You got to kind of define these things, about the nature of this industry, It's all good. It's all good, man. No hate. Psych Happens definitely ate too much. What? Why do you think she ate too much Tylenol? Yeah. I can't see that she's posted anything thus far that appears to be spectrum behavior. But that is my running insult for haters there. It's like and I have to, because now it hit the news. So I've been using it a lot on social media. I do it on Facebook a ton. I'm streaming a Facebook feed right now. We stream everywhere. Facebook's technically my biggest platform. Just the lives don't get many comments. Sometimes I get 100. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, your mom ate too much Tylenol. Your mom took Tylenol. And I know it's ridiculous, but it's just fun. I like to troll people and have some banter. I think people take it too serious when I do it, though, because I do stuff so deadpan, and they don't realize, like, in person, I have no filter. I am way goofier than I am online. Like, in real life, my friends are like, dude, the shit that comes out of Jason's mouth, he doesn't care. I really don't. I would be an HR nightmare today. But I haven't worked for a corporation in 18 years. I would be an HR nightmare, because I have no filter at all. Zero. I really don't care. I mean, I was in HR office even back then sometimes. Like, what are you going to do, fire me? Then you guys denied me a promotion because you said that my division would lose $3 million training a replacement. And I got denied a promotion. It's like, Stacy, let's not pretend you're going to fire me. That's not going to happen. That dude can eat a fucking dick. You can't tell him that. Like, I totally can. All right, psych happens daily. No, I don't. Oh, wait, that's still down there. Let's get some other comments in here. All right. Yeah. People take it too serious. Way too serious. You know, but it's usually clapping back. I don't insult people who don't insult me first as a general rule. You know, why are we going to kapow? So there's no reason to kapow her. She's not breaking any rules. What are you talking about, dude? We only kapow trolls and haters, man. We don't kapow people coming in having conversations. Come on, dude. You getting like mad jelly. All right. We don't need all that. Okay, my apologies. It was a preventative measure. And no, I don't think she's a troll, dude. I think she's runs. Let me look. I think she runs like a psychology channel. I could be a case study though. You never know. Yeah, see, she runs a psychology channel. It's all good. I think he's trying to flirt, but he's not. Yeah, I mean, some dudes don't flirt very well. Bro, if you're trying to flirt with a woman, that doesn't work. You could go use some classic copy-paste lines. Like, oh, heavenly blessed beauty, whose inner beauty is divine and everlasting. No, I'm kidding. Do not do that. All right. That's hate. No. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. What's your favorite pickup line, Jason Schoolhelm? The funniest one I've ever used, it actually worked. I walked by a girl and I stopped and I was like, do you believe in love at first sight? Because if not, I could walk by again. And it actually worked. She gave me your number. It's hilarious. Choking on my coffee here. No, corny pickups. Corny pickup lines work as long as you're confident with them. You know, that's the main thing. Just deliver them with confidence. And I think dudes get that wrong too. They don't understand the difference when you say women like confidence. Dudes are like, so they like assholes. No, they don't want you to be an ass. No, they just want you to be strong and confident. Don't even get me started on these red pill dudes. I can't. It's how you say it, not there you go, right? I think there you go, perfect. It's how you say it. It's how you say it. For some reason, it was weird. A bunch of people thought that I was part of the MGTOW or manosphere because I promote healthy masculinity. And I'm like, no, dude, I have actually seen a vagina in real life. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a super big 40K lore fan. Like, I like the painting. So I haven't even played a Warhammer game in like over a year. So I've only done painting. I like painting and doing the painting contests and getting my trophies. I enjoy the artistic side of it. All right. I get obsessive with like all my little detail and edge highlighting, and yeah. I mean, I can take or leave the lore. I do chaos stuff there, but for me, I mostly enjoy the painting way more than ever playing the tabletop gaming or the books. It's for me, I like the artistic expression. But I mean, I've won awards and trophies for my painting. You guys have seen some of it. And it sucks on this camera when I show any of it because the detail's not good enough. So, right. Like I got trophies for my Bellacore, but you can't see the detail. So like even the skin, I have like 6 different colors dry brushed into the like a bone, and it looks like bone. So, this is approximately 15 hours of work. Again, the detail, even when I've done pictures of it up close, my friends, even like my brother who plays and paints too, he's like, dude, the pictures do not do it justice. He goes, it actually, his skin looks like actual real bone. So yeah. But I mean, I got a trophy for this one. And yeah, it looks good. And this one also got awards. This is probably the most detailed one I've done, but again, you can't see it here on this. I have about 20 hours in this one worth of painting. You can kind of see what I mean when you see the skull in the middle and all the eyes. Right. But I've got a ridiculous amount of edge highlighting on this one. So yeah. The pair of chains. I have 180 pounds of chains. I think chains can be good if you're wanting contrast weight and accommodating resistance. I don't use chains ever for these days. I used to use chains just for mindset, just the idea of doing dips and pull-ups with chains over my shoulders. It was a mindset thing. But generally, because I'm there to do work, like I'd show up in work boots and throw chains over my shoulders to do them. I don't really use that approach these days. I'm very zen-like when I train. So even if you guys see me do a 600-pound deadlift, it's going to be very calm, very calm. But as far as chains go, chains is generally, I reserve them for dynamic effort work, right? Dynamic work, and then for max effort rotations if you're going to do conjugate. I don't generally program chains for any sort of hypertrophy work. So it's like I don't necessarily recommend chains unless you have a reason to use chains. Do you know how to get the most out of them? Right? Because if you're just doing hypertrophy and accessory work, you could make a case for maybe tricep stuff with them, but otherwise, I generally reserve them for when you need to change the deceleration curve. So again, we're dealing with powerlifting and performance-based stuff, right? Looking super coach, appreciate it. Yeah, that's just so totally weird. When it comes to say, I feel like I'm getting a lot over here from a certain, well, I don't know about that, Dad. I gotta remember to check Facebook. Some of my regulars will come in. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Good morning. I'm gonna go refill my coffee. All right, you guys gotta get the black stuff. I'll be right back. Dad, I didn't leave you in charge. Although you do have the number one, the crown. Everyone go like a pound. Hey, Dad, it's all good, man. Bring it down. Bring it down a notch. It's okay, man. We got to be chill. It's too early in the morning. Oh, she's gonna come with a crown. You have to outpost him or out donate. I had one guy who would come in here and drop $1 like every 30 minutes, so he kept the crown. Dude, I got a whole email when they released the beta on that. It sent me an email that I'd been put into the beta testing for the community crowns. Like, all right. But I had it for 3 days before they sent me the email. I had no clue what was going on. I was like, what are these crowns? What are these numbers? And then it sent me an email. They just give people a fun little contest, but it's good. It gets engagements. It encourages people to be active in the streams. But Francis, as far as your change, as far as amounts of change, if you're going to do dynamic work with them, you need up to 25% of your 1 rep max. So when I personally use chains, like if my max is 500 pounds, I use 120, 125 pounds of chains on that exercise. Hence why I have like 180, 200 pounds of chains. You know, so that's usually done for speed work. And then whenever I'm running that style of training, I'll rotate 3-week waves. Yeah, I have 400 pounds of bands at this point of different sizes. I have 15-pound sets all the way up to 100-pound sets, and you can put several sets on a bar. But so usually when I used to do dynamic work for conjugate training, I would rotate waves of bands and chains. So 3 weeks of chains followed by 3 weeks of bands on all your speed work. All right. Do you take creatine? Yeah, I usually do when I remember to take it. At this point, I'm a non-responder physically. I take it purely for the possible cognitive benefits. Because Alzheimer's runs in my family. So my grandfather, who was a mentor to me, I watched him deteriorate with Alzheimer's. And since I know that possible gene is in my family, and there is some research showing it may help with cognition, dementia, Alzheimer's with age, I use it as just kind of a safety net for that. When I remember to take it, I forget sometimes. Coach, I need creatine. Yeah, I'm a non-responder in that I never gained weight when I took it, even at a loading phase. Right. But when I remember to take it, I do 5 grams a day. I just mix it with a protein shake. So I had some in the protein shake yesterday. How's that insensitive? Dude, you getting mad jelly just because there's a woman in here. But let me see. Get yesterday's meals. So I usually just mix it into a protein shake. So for me, this is my food yesterday. Does this quote? Desert Store says, sometimes people don't solve their problems because they've made them a core part of their identity. Yeah. Right. Read all the chicks. Some of them come through. A lot of them who come through or don't identify themselves as women. I know that they are. I have like some former clients who come through, and you guys have no clue that they're girls. Maybe with olive oil. I've also seen, though, at this point, I've seen it suggested by some medical doctors that they want to classify Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes because, again, it seems to be insulin resistance of the brain, which is fascinating. Congratulations on 150,000 subs. Thank you. It's slowly been trickling back up. I think people forget I hit 100,000 over a decade ago. So it's been a while. I've had that plaque for like 9 years, but it seems to be slowly coming up again. The channel's kind of growing. No, Zach, I'm not interested at all. But I will take your comment under my thing, but do not DM me with your sales pitch. I will block the hell out of you on Facebook. In fact, I block anyone who throws their crazy sale pitches in Messenger so that they're forced to comment on my wall and I get paid for it. So, but no, I'm not interested in a website. I'm not interested in anyone having creative control of anything that I do with any aspect of my business. Channel's birthday. Oh yeah, true. This is my new channel. This was the 2.0. So I started this one in 2013. So it's going to be 12-year anniversary for this channel, for the new channel. I know it's funny. I call it the new channel. It's 12 years old. This was the new one. This is the 2.0. Right. Which, man, does that go back in time? Good morning, Ryan. What's up, Ryan? I got you your sheet yesterday, right? Please tell me I did. Yeah, I did. Just making sure. I get you your new trading sheet. I think I got everybody. I had 5 people who had to get sheets to yesterday, 5 clients. So back to this Desert Stars. Does the Chinese national weightlifting team do differently training? Okay, let's briefly discuss that. A couple things to think about. Number one, look at the population of China, right? Enormous population. So their gene pool is enormous, right? Number one. Number two, their weightlifters are state-sponsored athletes. They do not have jobs or careers, okay? So what you have are very carefully selected, oftentimes the children of other athletes, is a state-sponsored, pretty much super athlete program. And then they're put in an environment where if they want to continue to be paid and their families to be taken care of, they have to perform optimally. And so what you have are genetically selected people who the state makes it their full-time job with incentives, and they have no other concerns or worries other than lifting weights or doing their sport for the Olympics, with a country with a population of over 1 billion people. So they have a lot of gene pool to select from. So that's what you have. So yeah, they're going to be good, right? Right. Hey, Dad, that's very, very strange. Dad, you get really upset if you went to my Facebook. Then if you're jealous of women, you'd really get upset at my Facebook, especially when I did the blue jean pictures. There was like 100 women all like, oh my God. So you'd be upset. You'd be having to go down the road sending hate. That blue jean photo shoot. And no, I thought that was funny. People were like, did you Photoshop that? I'm like, no, that's just good lighting. Like that was, my friend did it just straight with my backup phone, just an iPhone. And she just has a good eye for lighting. So it's just good lighting. It does what, back in January or February. Dudes got upset. They were like, a bunch of dudes got really mad at those. And I'm like, why are you guys so upset? They felt me in a pair of blue jeans was gay, as they put it. Like, if it's making you feel gay, maybe you're gay. I don't know. It's very strange. My message is showing up. Yeah, your message is showing up, EJ. You said hello. So if you decline to participate in Chinese national team, they could have peanut in theory, yeah. What do you mean, Dad? Why are you so obsessed? You're very weird, dude. You're very weird, bro. Do you do the same thing when Lacey comes through here? Am I band? I don't know. Are you in a band, EJ? You in a band, brother? Like what sort of band, man? Like this type of band? Like Fender Strat band? She's got Mariah Carey playing. All right, good morning. Yes, EJ, you're in a band, man. Ryan, go get one of your guitars out. He plays too. All right. Yeah. You can tell some people around here have never seen them all, but they're very strange, right? Really weird stuff. Yeah, very strange stuff. Do you ever play guitar between sets? No, I don't keep a guitar in the garage. I usually try to set aside about 10 minutes a day to practice. Just play. All right. Just play a little bit. You know, just have a little fun with it. I don't know, maybe. All right. Oops, wrong bit. Sorry, guys. I get a little too into it. It's all too early in the morning for that. All right. You should set up your guitar on the spot, right? Like a Mad Max type of thing. I don't know about all that, dudes. That's a little much. How much did Team Blaha play the guitar, Ryan? I mean, you're a pretty serious player. Alex has a band. Matthias has a band. We got a bunch of guitarists in my lifters. I don't know what it is about Team Blaha with that. Piano and voice. I play the skin flute. EJ, that's. Hey man, no hate. Team Blaha could make a band, right? Right, right. Already, like I'd be down. Right, it's like Brian works 6 days a week. You got time to do all that. Play the triangle. 80s metal for live. Of course, I do mostly my hard rock. I could get back into metal eventually, but it's very clear what styles I play based on the guitars I have. Put Peppermint on the mic. I technically have a band. We just don't practice that often. If I told y'all the name of my band, y'all would die. Y'all would die. I've never said the name of my band on here anywhere. And if I say it, you're going to be like, you're not serious. I'm like, I'm 100% serious. And yes, I named it and we voted, but it was my name. It's called Andy and the Muff Divers. That's the name of our band. Yeah. So, yeah. But I need to get the dudes over. We need to get some jam sessions in. That's what we need to do. Coach, can you sing an outrageous French accent? No, go away, you stinky English pig dogs. Minus Thunder Drive, right? We already have fighting in the band. It will break up before we even start. Right? And funny enough, yes, every single one of the dudes plays a Les Paul. We have three Les Pauls in the band. I'm the only one with a real Gibson, though. The others have Epiphones. Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, that came up before someone too. They brought that up, and they're like, "Oh, you got a real Gibson." I'm like, Epiphones are not that bad. Like one of my dudes, one of my bros, he has a really good Epiphone. I was impressed with it, and he grabbed it for like $700 on used, and it was still in the case, never been played, and it's like one of the Slash edition ones, and I think they run about 900. He paid $700. And it's actually a really good guitar. Like for that, I'm surprised for that price point. Right. Like to be honest, for a sub $2,000 guitar, it's really good. I bought my Jackson on sale and I love it. Always my go-to. Yeah, Jacksons are soft for your style of music. Jacksons work really well. You're playing a lot of 80s metal, thrash. I do mostly hard rock and blues. That's why I have a Les Paul and a Strat. Their banter back and forth, that's just, we get some weird stuff in here. It's all good though. Very, very strange. But you know what? I'm going to be in here a couple hours, so we're just going to run with it. We're going to run with it. Dude, the Les Paul, I mean, I love the Les Paul. I just can't play it sitting down in my chair. But I started early on with a Gibson, so it kind of, I don't know, maybe for me because when I was in high school, I had a Gibson. So when I was like 14, right before we moved to New Mexico, I went to like the big guitar convention, like here in Houston. I was like 14, and I had $350. That's what I had to spend, because up until then I had a really cheap, like little $50 budget, um, horrible guitar, and I'd been learning on for over a year. And so I went to the guitar thing, and they had this red Gibson Flying V. It was obviously used, and I was looking at it, and it didn't have a price listed. I picked it up, and the guy at the shop there, and I'm like, he's like, you're just like, yeah, I'm really interested in it, but I don't know if I have enough money for it. And he's like, well, what do you have? And I'm like, I have 350. I have $350 in cash, and this is everything I have. So I don't think I can afford this guitar. It's an old guy. He was like 50, 55, 60-year-old guy, and guitars who was selling, had the whole guitar shop there. And he just kind of goes, he's like, I'll give it to you for 350. And so I gave him the 350 cash, and I walked away with a hard case Gibson Flying V. And I played that thing for years. So I think for me, because I spent a lot of time on a Gibson, the neck feels right. So I am way better on my Gibson than I am other guitars. All right. Now, in retrospect, that guy just said, I'm going to help this kid out because he's early starting. He's like, you can tell I was like 14, and he's just like, he was just being a good guy. That guitar was probably worth $600, $700 at the time. Looking back, I got it for maybe like half price. No, I don't have it anymore. What do you think about CrossFit? You guys know I hate the what do you think? I hate those questions, because if you ask me what I think, we're going to jump over into theoretical physics really fast. Do you have a specific question about CrossFit? Like, are you going to ask me, do I think it's had a generally positive or a generally negative influence on lifting culture, for example? I'd say it has a generally positive. There are problems with it, but I think it's brought barbell lifting further into the forefront, performance more into the forefront, A long backstory of what happened to the Flying V. Do I think it's gay? No. That's a very strange comment. Like, why would you think that? Men and women working out together, sweating in a room. Not really gay. Back, the biggest problem they have is affairs at CrossFit. It's apparently a big problem. Dad, stop taking Tylenol. Well, no, it's mom. It's not you. You don't get it. It's apparently in utero. The link to Tylenol and a variety of behaviors. What a controversy that turned into. All of a sudden, meta-analysis becomes a topic of political debate. We have reached idiocracy as a society, where when a president quotes a meta-analysis from Harvard, that we turned it into a point of political debate. I just can't. I can't. That's why I say Trump derangement syndrome is its own mental disorder. And it's fascinating. And it's the same on both sides. Like the cult-like followings in both directions are really strange. Right? They're very, very strange. And it's like both sides, they're irrational with it. Like, I have my own criticisms of Trump, but they're not the crazy shit that people come up with. um, wow. You know. But my criticisms of Trump, I don't think most people would understand. Right. I agree. It should be considered outside the political sphere. There were a number of studies that should be considered seriously instead of people being clouded by whatever administration is in. Yeah, absolutely. And that goes for both sides. Like, this is not how we should be judging medical and scientific information. It's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. And again, it's just, it shows the insane behavior that people have around politics and ideology on both ends. And in my case, my biggest criticism of Trump, a non-American would not even understand my criticism of him. They would be like, because they don't have the cultural context. Like, Ryan is probably the only person in this chat who I guarantee you would understand my criticism of Trump, my number one. Like, I guarantee you no one else in here would even understand it. And it's because of my staunch Second Amendment stance, that I believe that federal government should have no oversight of firearms at all, based upon the Constitution. And Trump enacted gun control as a executive order and bypassed Congress and Senate to do it. And people feel like, what? They have no clue what I'm even talking about. They have no clue that he did that, or what I even mean, or why I'm saying that. That's my number one criticism of him. Like, and to me, that's a major problem. But again, that's my own views. Yeah. And to me, it's quite a big deal, because it laid the framework for a president to be able to bypass the Bill of Rights, particularly the Second Amendment, through executive order. That's problematic, particularly when that's my one political topic. I'm not a super political person. But a good idea where you are on the political spectrum. I would, as far as American ideology, I would be considered a moderate, but extremely pro-firearm. Moderate. That is my one political topic, and it's because I view it as a freedom issue. It is the checks and balances against tyranny. Is that, and that's what our nation was founded on, that idea. It's a very American idea. That the citizenry is to be armed to overthrow a tyrannical government. So therefore, that government is not supposed to have any oversight of your weapons at the federal level. And I know for people outside of our culture, that sounds crazy as hell. And I fully get that. I spent 3 years in the UK. I understand. But yeah, so that's a problem. That's a problem for me. And he removed a buffer. Like, we had a point to gaslight the anti-gun far left, and that was, the bump stock was a way to gaslight them, and he removed it. So it's a bit of a problem. It was like a buffer zone that we created. I've had some clients in Australia. Ever cross over to Ireland? No, I never made it to Ireland. I spent some time in Wales, though. I like Cardiff. Yeah, it's a mess. Well, it was never going to work out for me long term there. All right. I'm not going to go into the fine details of my life, and I don't like when people dig into that. But, an unwillingness of my wife there to move back to move to the U.S. was going to be a deal breaker long term, anyways. So, I may have lost my internet. Let's see if it reconnects. Come on, come back on. Why is my modem flashing? Did we lose this? There it goes. It came back. I just saw the yellow light. Are we still good? Okay, we're good. Yeah, my modem did a little flash. They were down for maintenance for an hour the other day in the afternoon. All right, cool. I'm a Christian. I don't go to church. I'm not like super religious, but I am Christian. So why would anyone voluntarily? I was married to a Brit, so I moved over there. My second wife was British, which I guess that's why a bunch of the internet for some reason thought I was part of the whole incel red pill thing, or like, you've been married twice and you seem to be. But then while they thought I was single, I had a girlfriend and I just didn't talk about it. It's very strange. I'm like, the way people for some reason thought that, when in reality I make fun of that movement. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know. They strike me as dudes who hate women, you know, or guys who are not willing to step up to be men. Yeah. So I just don't get that whole movement. It's just, and the people bring up the Andrew Tate, like, I think you would like Andrew Tate. I'm like, no, dude, I've read stuff he writes. He's a piece of shit. I just don't have a lot of use for it. I just can't, you know. And then he got charged with human trafficking stuff. And it's like, are you guys serious? Like, why would anything that I have ever said would indicate that I would like this clown? I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Well, I keep my stuff off the internet, EJ. I keep my relationships relatively private. Yeah, yeah, not bored with misogyny. Well, no, I mean it just strikes me as a very anti-woman. I think most of these dudes are either they're complete losers who can't get a girlfriend, or they're deep down in the closet and they're struggling to come to terms with it, or they just have general resentment of women. Yeah. What do you think about feminism? I think you need to define waves of feminism. I think modern feminism has destroyed womanhood too. But are you talking first wave, second wave? What do you need to define that? Because if we go back and you have a problem with first or second wave feminism, you're like wanting to take away women's right to vote, which is fucking insane, right? Well, I think modern feminism has been largely harmful to women. Most women I know agree with this. Most of my friends who are women agree with this. It has its own set of issues, But I mean, so you've got to define the waves. You start talking fourth wave, it's really a problem. It's problematic, and I think it's almost attacked even women on what it means to be a woman. I got to late start life, but I stepped my game up. There you go, Ryan. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that current modern feminism is the other side of the coin of the red pill manosphere. They're like two sides of the same ridiculous coin. Really. They're like perfect for each other. They should just all hook up. Archer, what are you asking? I'm still waiting for the answer. I got to scroll up to see what you even asked. What did you ask, ALP? I don't even see what your question is. ALP, okay, I don't understand your question. Your question is gay or black or both. Can I get some context for your question? It's like, I'm not going to jump into the Israel versus Palestine debate. That's one of those where I could get death threats for any answer I give. I already have enough death threats. Let's just stay out of that. Other than I will say that it is an important but extremely nuanced and complicated topic. Coach is so befuddled by that question, right? Right. People sitting here drilling her about Sigmund Freud is like people bringing up Mike Menzer in 2025. Menzer shouldn't even be a topic in the lifting world in 2025. I think there's something mentally wrong with you if you even are taking Menzer seriously today. You have issues. You should probably talk to a therapist. Okay. But doing videos on Freud doesn't mean that they're taking his work and projecting it into a modern situation, historical context, or people who pioneered certain things in a field. What about Menzer versus Israel? How about neither? Well, that's been a controversy too with Mike. I mean, Mike and I've had our minor stuff back and forth. Mike doesn't like my training. Sometimes he always says, Blaha's training advice is too low volume. I'm like, bitch, I produce 700-pound deadlifters. What are you producing besides a big insulin gut? But no, I reviewed his book and gave it 5 stars. His diet book years ago. He sent me a copy. No, I consider Mike at this point to be pretty much a marketeer, pretending to be science-based purely to sell his app and programming. Nothing he promotes in terms of programming is based on evidence or even the real world. And he knows that. He's fully aware of that. His whole idea of the scaling volume upward in mesocycles and then forcing a deload. It's ridiculous. What do you think about the fly curl? I don't think about it at all. Yeah. And I think some of the criticism I've seen Lyle and other people, because I watched that debate between Lyle and Mike, and I feel like Lyle pretty much buried him on that one. As far as the training volume debate, discussing Dr. Brad's stuff with like that 52 set study. It's really, we're talking about wanting to hurt people, and he's always making gay jokes. I'll leave part of that alone, but there's a lot happening with that. But I mean, like Lyle's giving criticism of the fact that he's like, look, Mike, you're not winning. Your push bodybuilding is the be all end all. It's your whole shtick, and you can't win anything. And you use excessive amounts of drugs to the point where you're having very negative visible side effects from the insulin abuse, and you're still not winning. What do you mean? Why would you think he's an intimidating person? No. And I think that's a fair criticism. I mean, people can hate on me all they want, but at least I win. I've been invited to worlds in 2 different federations in powerlifting over the years. I've had Texas state records in 2 weight classes. I at least win. My clients win. Yeah, he's going to go jump on ALP. Well, we could take that a lot of directions. All right. Pause. Right. Pause for a minute. I'm just saying, man, we could take that in a whole different direction, but we're not going to. We're going to keep it PG-13. Tipper does vlogs. Ted's vlog will be coming back. He didn't give me enough stuff to do a vlog this week. It's like, come on, Ted. He wanted to do vlog again, but we're not doing conjugate. We're doing a bunch of base building off the classic lifts right now for Ted. We're getting ready for powerlifting meets. Our biggest issue with Ted is that he's one of those guys that wants endless volume, and then he gets overuse problems because he does stuff that I tell him not to do. He adds it to the program. But he wins. I mean, he's very impressive multi-sport athlete, but it's always that struggle of he thinks he needs more training than he does, and then he adds exercises that I didn't put in the program, and then he gets pulls from overuse. It's kind of that's our struggle and dynamic sometimes. But no, he broke 200 pounds. He's over 200 pounds now. Finally, he still has abs though, so But we're coming up for drug tested meets, so he's not on anything. Yeah, so his vlog should be back soon. We just got a vlog up from Matthias. I only have 3 clients really vlogging at the moment. I don't like doing that many of the vlogs. They honestly, they don't get anything. No, Ted's been clean the whole time. Like, he's not against eventually, but we don't need it, and he wants to do drug tested stuff. So. And I'm not ever going to pressure an athlete into going on gear. I usually want to delay them longer, if anything. Just I remind guys, everyone, all these younger kids jump on a lot of drugs. I'm like, you need to understand the commitment involved. I tell that to guys, and it's like, don't roll the dice if you can't pay the price. Don't do that first cycle unless you are prepared to be on at least TRT the rest of your life. If you're not willing to take a shot in your glute every day for the next 40 years or every week, don't run your first cycle. And if you're not ready to take that risk of that commitment, just don't do it. It's very straightforward. But now we have all these younger influencers, 17, 18 years old, running grams and grams of gear. And it's, unfortunately. Why is the bench press so connected to my body weight? Welcome to the real world. When I gain weight, I'm immediately stronger on the bench, but not in other exercises. When I lose weight, my bench goes down. Why is that? Because you're a member of this species called Homo sapien. And that's pretty much the trend for human beings on that specific exercise. It's even been documented in the lab in studies. It is the most correlated of any of the barbell lifts to body weight among competitive powerlifters, according to researchers. Also, body fat improves leverages on the bench press big time. So if I were to magically, like if aliens were to snap their fingers and put 50 pounds of fat on your body with no side effects, your bench would immediately go up the next day with no change in muscle mass or neural drive. It would go up significantly. All right. So fat leverages go a long way, which is why for me, I'm happy with what I've been benching this year at a lighter, leaner body weight. I'm super happy with that. But I want to bring it up a little more, obviously. I got to have more chest and triceps, though. Yes, I get people who think I'm crazy for thinking like that. I'm like, dude, you're about to turn 49 and you're literally over here talking about bench PRs. What's wrong with you? Strive for excellence. All right. No half measures. If you're going to do something, do it right. No street pets. It's because you're perfectly normal. You're perfectly normal. That is a very common situation with the bench press. Gaining weight, no, gaining weight is probably not necessarily. I mean, gaining muscle, sure, but gaining body fat, no. So it's not just body weight. You have to think in terms of fat versus muscle. But body fat actually helps the bench press. It's not going to help your pull-ups. Right? So body fat actually can hurt the deadlift, but it improves the squat and the bench press. Gaining fat does in terms of leverage advantage. Dan says, I'm not normal. Well, hey, Dan, we've all figured that out. It's all good, though. I'm going to be right back. And I got to remember to check the Facebook. I keep forgetting. Oops, my towel fell. What do you mean boiling water? I have a Mr. Coffee. I have a coffee pot. All right, good. We got some likes. Jordan's over here in the Facebook. I'm a 265 pound, 6'3" natty vegan white. Okay, then. Alrighty. He had to let me know he's a vegan. Roach says, Coach, that's an impressive lift. What's that cycle training or training? What's my current cycle? I'm on a replacement dose of test set. That's my whole stack. So that's the only thing I've been on this entire year, actually, at all. So, and it's health purposes. Like I have no desire to be monstrously massive. And a replacement dose keeps everything where I want it to be, And I'll probably be on TRT for life, Right. But it's all good, man. I'm very pro TRT. I always find it strange when so many people are against TRT, and I'm just like the quality of life, the health. Like it's not even about gains. You're not going to gain a bunch of muscle from TRT. You're just not. That's delusion. Not actual replacement doses. But it's your general quality of life, everything. Your profession, your mood, your sex drive, your sex performance, all those things. Right. Oh, there we go. The guy's got to be a hater. All right, let's get a vote. You guys see the comment by Roach. All right, let's get a vote. Kapower, go. Usually the insults, so I just auto ban. Hey, Dad, no, I know women who do TRT and they don't get hairy or any of that. I know women on doctor prescribed tests. I know multiple women. All right, we got a whole bunch of kapows. You got to get a little bit of shake and bake. Kapow! And he's out of here. Make sure that didn't turn my mic down. That clap makes my mic turn down to 72%. There it went. Turn it back up. All right. 4-0, he's out of here. Have you guys noticed the weird obsession my stalkers have about my hips? Has anyone else caught this? Like, they're so obsessed with my hips. Like, that's not totally you dudes being in the closet. Jesus. 310 move clean, good stuff, Ryan. Yeah, like the strange. And friends of mine who see it, like I have multiple women who see this and they like real life friends and they think they're just like, where do these dudes come up with this? They're like, there's nothing feminine about you at all. They're like, what? I'm not going to say what at least one of them said because people will say you can't say the F word, but she's like, wow, these dudes are effing Fs, you know? Like, seriously. This is a woman saying this. She's just like, wow. I heard gaining weight helps with weighted calisthenics. I call it possible projection. What do you guys? Yeah, definitely. No, it's projection on their part. So, because they're so weirdly sexually obsessed with me, they need me to be feminine for them to not. Yeah, I don't care, EJ. I don't care. I can say whatever I want. I'm being polite about it though, mainly because it could be an algorithm issue. But I'm just saying what one of them said. That was her response. Like, this is so insane. But no, it's these dudes needing to project their own weird stuff. Yeah, Dad, I see no reason whatsoever to go. Like, you're more likely to have to go than her. But you're clearly a troll, but you're not a malicious troll thus far. Right? Trolling is fine. It's maliciousness that we have an issue with. You know, we'll see what Dad does next time Lacey comes through. He'll probably go after her too. That'll be interesting. Yeah, Coach can appreciate. I can appreciate clever trollings. All right. Yeah, but hating in Coach's house is just poor form. That's right. Yeah. So, you know. Hey EJ, that using that whole thing, I've never understood that either. This is where I would think is quite strange. Why you have to create this whole set of alphabets. Because is the trans thing even remotely in the same category as gay? Like, if anything, that hurts your movement to have included that. And I've known a gay dude in person who felt that way. He wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't want it included at all. It's one of my neighbors before. You know, it's very strange. He personally felt that way. He felt that it derailed the gay rights movement in general to have that tagged into it now. You know, just saying, there's more to that topic than people try to pretend that it's all just this whole specific ideology. No, no. But that was his take on it. He passed away a couple years ago, though. No, he was my neighbor for years. I recall him mentioning that he didn't care for it at all. He didn't like it one bit. That was his opinion. So why then does everyone pretend with all these different viewpoints and ideologies that there can be no divergent of thought? And the left and the right both do it. They both do it. They're both guilty of it. It's almost like this is our whole set of ideologies and you can't deviate. And yet we're talking about political things, which we should be hashing out and discussing on a issue by issue basis. I'm just going to ignore that one, ALP. I don't need that sort of topic creating problems for me. Just next. Yeah, I think ALP should delete the comments because people have no agency, right? They don't critically think, and they can't seem to. Yeah, that's a good point. That could hurt my algorithm. ALP, I'm gonna have to get rid of you just on the basis. Vote to get rid of ALP, probably. Yeah, let's do a vote. Let's get a vote on this one. Couple Kapows. He probably needs to go. So EJ wants him to stay. But the point is, I can't have people bring in a bunch of racist stuff in here. It's bad for my algorithm, just in general. Oh, she didn't vote. Yep. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get rid of him. Just kapow him. Yeah, he needs to go. Yeah, even Ryan agrees. And Ryan's a client who pays. No, I'm not taking psych out. Why she's not doing anything wrong? Jesus Christ, guys. Does Ryan count for two? Well, since Ryan gives me $250 a month as a client, yeah, he might get a double vote. All right. By the way, we have coaching slots open. Speaking of which, anybody who needs coaching, I got coaching slots. I got consultation slots. Keep in mind, guys, I don't just do only coaching. I do 1 hour calls for people who need help with stuff. Well, Ryan will tell you if he wants to know what state he lives in. State of confusion. But in a democracy, but some votes are more equal than others. Every vote is equal, but some votes are more equal than others. Right? So there you go. Brian he did 310 this morning. Notice your last few training videos, your arms are getting bigger. Probably saw all the tricep work. Appreciate it though. He wants to know how, but Ryan doesn't do curls actually. He does weighted chins. We don't have a really room and time for isolation. Ryan, because of his work hours, he doesn't have that much training time. Like we got to be efficient. So we do weighted chin-ups for him. Do I call him Ryan Hoffman? No, I just call him Ryan. Yep, he's training. So he's between sets. He's in here posting between sets. So Ryan does full body 3 days a week. Obviously, cow milk. First of all, almonds don't have nipples. So there is no such thing as almond milk. It's technically nut juice. So, right. Technically nut juice. Yep. Right. So our goal for this year is, so Ryan is started at 320 pounds. So we're trying to get him to 220 this year. And our goal is a 315 bench at 220. So he's been in a weight loss phase this entire time. So what do you mean? Have you tried Space Marine 2? So I need a context. Is this a video game? I don't play video games. I haven't in a long time. I feel video games are a useless time sink for men, and I feel they make you less productive. Dudes get upset when I say that. Ooh, a vote should be how much tax you paid, man. Now that's a topic. No, it's got a lot of great lore. Yeah. No, I think video games are generally a time sink for men. I mean, so let's come over. Let's talk about this whole thing. This gets dudes upset, right? This is where I pick on the dudes. Dudes who say stupid stuff like, "There's no good women out there left. I can't find a good girl. All women are gold diggers. All women," like they pull all this shit, right? But then they do stuff that they know is unattractive to women. And video games can be if you do them excessively. Anime. So did you guys not see that survey of hobbies that women found attractive or unattractive in men? It was a massive survey done of like grown women. These are not little girls. These are grown women. And guys who sit around playing video games or who watch anime was near the top of the list of unattractive behavior in men. And they make you look, as someone who's done my share of gaming, anytime I played a lot of video games, right? I was less productive and made less money in general, you know. But EJ, that's not the point is what I want dudes to understand. If you're out here complaining that you can't attract good women, but your life revolves around things that women find unattractive, you're choosing to be an incel. You're not an incel. It's a conscious choice. And the other thing to think of understanding that women are attracted to men who are confident and taking care of their business as men. Right? Right. Called voluntary sell, yeah. Full sell. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if your hobbies are based on things like that don't enrich you in any way, right? They're not creative or building in any way. They're not enriching to you in any way. And it's turning off women. This is just not good for you overall. You know, it's not good overall. in short, it's like I was saying that yesterday to someone. Like dudes will say this stuff, but it's like if your whole life revolves around alcohol, porn, video games, and anime, don't be surprised when you don't get a good girl anywhere or you're not attracting quality women. Like, don't act surprised. You know, because dudes will do that, and it's like, so do you think that you're a good guy? Joel says, Jason, if someone does those 6 movement patterns you use to recommend and then rotate 1 to 2 isolation movements to bring up weak points for a muscle if needed, is that a solid method to get jacked? Absolutely. Arms looking huge this morning, coach. Thank you. Right. So there you go. A woman giving her input. I don't mind my partner playing as long as it's not a ridiculous amount of time. Right. And they need to be able to moderate and prioritize. If it's a lot, then we have a problem. And that's the point. That's why I said the thing of a lot of gaming. You know, but it's one of those things that a lot of modern video games are designed to reel you in as time sinks. Right. And I think that's the problem. Modern video games are designed to be addictive in that way. The anime, okay, so I'm going to tell you, and she may or may not have her take. I'm going to tell you what I've heard women say in person about anime. Men who watch anime, they see them as man children. They're boys who watch cartoons still. And I'm going to give a direct quote. I actually had a friend of mine. She says, it just kind of dries my pussy up. Like, wow, well, he's a child. Like, I don't need to raise a little boy. So a little boy who watches cartoons. You know, just saying, guys, that was her words. This came from a woman's mouth directly. She's like, it just, I don't know, just watching a guy watch anime just kind of dries my pussy up. Like, wow. So, oh, all right. A spectrum addiction to screens is going to be introduced in the DSM soon. Is it really impacting humans these days, reducing people's ability to function? I agree. Will the muscle to bring up the maintain? Will the muscle that you bring up be maintained by the compound once you rotate to a new weak point? Potentially, Joe. Yeah. Right. All right, Rufio. So here's the thing, guys. Guys, if you're not attracting women, take care of your business. First of all, you financially stable. Or did you gold diggers? No, you're not making enough money to attract gold diggers. You don't have to worry about that. Just stop. Are you financially stable? Are you taking care of your business as a man? Do hobbies that you have and interests that you have, are they enriching or attractive? Do other people see those hobbies and think, wow, that's cool? Or that's impressive, or it's creative in some way? Right? Those are things you need to be thinking about. I mean, like I said, the guitar, perfect example. Ryan, you play guitar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go hang out someplace and you bust out a guitar and you start playing the guitar well, or any instrument well. And tell me women do not notice. Why? Because you're expressing creativity and intelligence, and most people like music, for example. Okay. You know, but it doesn't have to be the guitar. Because again, most people enjoy music. Most women enjoy music, and you're expressing something that's creative. It shows intelligence and creativity. These are attractive traits. right? These are attractive traits, like for someone looking for a partner. Oh, they're creative and intelligent, you know. This is a plus one. I'm just giving that as examples. Whereas, and if you're spending that same time on video games or other stuff, nobody's impressed, nobody's attracted. Let's just Donnie, I'm just going to get rid of you. I just ain't got time for that one. Maybe if you own the Game Boy company, right? Exactly. Let's just get rid of that guy. Dad, you need to step your game up. I've played the harmonica, I've never been laid. But you got to play the harmonica like John Popper, though. Like you got to be like, you know, blues traveler, right? Alan, I think, again, you're projecting that whole red pill thing. It's not about your wallet, it's about financial stability. Okay. You guys get too hung up on this if you're not making huge amounts of money. Gold diggers are not interested in men who make 100,000 or 80,000 a year. They're just not. Just stop. Just stop. They want you to be financially stable. At least quality women. They're going to want you to be financially stable. They want to know that you can, at the very least, swing your end of the bills. All right. So again, Jason, what do you mean by when you say potentially? Because there's a lot of factors involved. Meaning, if you built your biceps with curls, a barbell row may not maintain 100% of it, but a pull-up probably will. Right? But a wallet, and true. But intelligent people tend to be more financially stable, or at least potentially higher income earners. You know, yeah. Don't live with your parents. Right? That's he's not taking dating advice, and that's fair. And I get that. A lot of guys realize a lot of women don't necessarily express correctly what they want. What time is it where you are? 6:35 a.m. I'm just north of Houston. Right. But again, guys, so what you're going to find is that in terms of hobbies, if you have hobbies that are either very creative or they can be very, how do I put it, rugged, it's going to be more attractive to women, like outdoorsy men. A lot of women like that. They appreciate that. They like artistic. So, in terms of hobbies and things, those are the things that they're going to be attractive. And it's not, how do I put this? It's because you are being a man. And so, guys are over here saying, well, I'm not going to base my hobbies. So, no, you sound like a little boy. Yeah, women like capable men. They want you to be able to step up and be a man. And this is a fairly universal trait among most women, at least adult women. Right? We're not talking about 18-year-old girls. Right? And that's not where you should be chasing, looking to settle down, anyways. Is acting gay to get in the friend zone a valid strategy? No, no, not at all. Um, you know, hey, Dad, I think based on some of your comments here, we could say there's other problems. that you have going on. You know. And Ryan's got the valid point too. A lot of young men were never raised to be men. And I've dealt with this as a coach with some of my younger male clients. They weren't raised to be men, and they don't, and that's a problem too. I mean, let's talk about the single mother situation. Is this a factor? This then creates intergenerational man children, you know? Right? So, and it works both ways. How about deadbeat dads who aren't in their sons' lives, or malicious women who won't allow dad to be around the son? So they don't have positive male role models to teach them how to be a man. And they grow up to be man children who play video games all day and have no concept of manhood or things like a sense of honor, a code of honor, duty, right? So this is a problem. This is a problem. Men don't know how to be men. Because they haven't been taught how to be men. Right, Ryan, I agree. Video games definitely a problem because it distracts you away from being a man and taking care of your business as a man. And how about, again, that formation of that code of honor? Let's talk about a rite of passage from boyhood to manhood. That's the most important part, is the development of that code of honor so that you are not bound by your whims. Because let's be realistic. Let's talk about high testosterone men. Left to our own devices, left to our own whims, what would be our natural inclination? All we want to do is fucking fight, in short, right? High testosterone men. There's a savage beast inside of every man, right? There's a savage beast inside of every man. And your code of honor is what shackles that and channels that into being productive and society building. Right? So I think it's important. Yeah, all men should be in shape and be capable of. I don't think that's unreasonable, Kellen. So again, that code of honor. And that code of honor is going to vary from different men. And I think the story I love to use when I have these conversations, because and men will understand this, and you can't expect women to understand our code of honor. And that's okay. They don't have to, but they know when they're dealing with a man who has one. All right. And I'll give you guys an example of a man values his word. I've made promises to people that cost me dearly in life, but I followed through on those promises because that's important to being a man. And an example I love to use for anyone who hasn't seen it, if you guys saw that whole mini series, it's like 8 hours long, called Lonesome Dove, about these retired Texas Rangers who steal a bunch of cattle and take them from Mexico and take them all the way up north to like North Dakota, right? How much money have I lost to keeping promises? Because I don't break promises. I could put a figure on that. Keeping my word to people has probably cost me $50,000 in the last decade. So go back over to Lonesome Dove. Perfect example. You have Woodrow and Gus. And business partners, Texas Rangers together, old men now, right? On his deathbed, dying, Gus makes Woodrow promise him, they're all the way in like North Dakota. I want you guys to understand this is like 3,000 kilometers, 4,000 kilometers for those of you who don't use freedom units, north of Texas. And he makes him give a promise that he wants to take his body back to Lonesome Dove, Texas, and there's a creek bed that he wants to be buried at because that's where he fell in love with Clara, who is married to some guy who's dying, by the way, not that far from them, like on the trip back. But he fell in love with her, and she was just the love of his life, even though he never married her, right? He makes him promise to go bury him by that on his deathbed, and he gives his word. Here's the problem. He's a man of honor, and he gave his word to his dying friend. So he has to take him back. On a wagon, drugged behind a horse, like 4,000 kilometers away. All right. He even has to pass through with Clara at her place with the body. And she gets pissed. She's like, why don't you just bury him here at my ranch? And this other woman who is in love with him, who adored him because he saved her life and stuff at one point, younger woman. It's like, you could just bury him here. Why are you doing this? This is so stupid. She's like, I despised you years ago, and I despise you for doing this now. So he's got all the reason in the world of this woman, even the Clara, who the guy wants to be buried where he fell in love with Clara all the way down there, is saying, bury him here. And he doesn't, because he keeps his word. And I think that is such a textbook example, because he gave his word, his promise to a dying man. And I think that's a perfect example of what we mean between being a boy and a man and having a code of honor. Keep in mind, everyone thought he was wrong for doing it. All these women thought he was wrong, that he should have buried him there. Don't do this. And this involved weeks and weeks and weeks to get his body there. And some adventures in his own life being put at risk to do this. Now, I thought it was real cute for me personally to give that story in a video a few years ago. It was real cute of me. And as luck would have it, call it God, call it the universe, I gave a promise to a close dying family member who died on me 4 hours later. Real smooth there, Jason. This is real good, right? And I had to follow through on those promises. I didn't know he was going to die. By the way, we didn't know he was going to die, but he died 4 or 5 hours after I left. Right? I made 3 promises to him. We're not going to go into all of them are. But one of them, he's like, I need you to back me on this. I need your word. Long story short, that word involved confronting my father. My father was not related to him. He's the other side of the family. My father had rifles that belonged to my grandfather, and he had all of them. My grandfather was an avid sportsman, gun collector, shot on the Navy shooting team, shot in the Olympics. And he wanted one of those rifles in the hands of his son, and said, "This is a family heirloom. Will you give me your word to go with me to talk to your dad about getting it back?" I'm like, "I'll do it, but you know my dad. My dad is a mean, old, ornery man who pretty much does what he wants and just doesn't give a fuck what you think." I gave my word I would go with him and we'd have this conversation together, and then he died. Long story short, that rifle ended up in his son's hands. About as mean as my dad. You know, that's maybe I just gave you all a lonesome dove. But I made that happen. But that was one of those where it's like, man, this is not going to be comfortable. This is not going to be fun. I'm going to need to think through how I need to do this. How do I need to approach this? No, it didn't get violent. Why would it get violent? No, it was all simple words. I'm not going to go into how I had to go about doing it, but it involved, understanding a person's nature and appealing to it. Because when you're going to persuade someone to do something that they're not inclined to do, they need to see the value in it. So, but it worked. But that's an example of what we mean about, keeping your promises. But it's very funny to me. And I kicked myself over that one. I gave that story. I did that in a collaboration live stream I did with Ariel, discussing that, with the whole thing of healthy masculinity. And I told that story from the Lonesome Dove. And then my family member died later after that. The fact that you're trying is a problem, Dad. And you shouldn't have to try. If you are taking care of your business as a man, women will come to you. I already told you how to take care of your business as a man. I've already explained all of that already in this chat. So women should be flirting with you. If women are not flirting with you, you are not taking care of your business as a man. Right? Period. I'm grilling my chicken breast and training at the same time. Meal prep lifestyle for the win. There you go, brother. There you go. And here's the thing I would say with some of that with guys, as much as some dudes might look at that and say, I don't know about all that. I can tell you, as a man, because of the way that we are hardwired, if you do not reach that state in your own masculinity, you will not be satisfied with life. You're never going to have any sort of true satisfaction or self-worth. It's just the way that we're hardwired. When you develop a code, you take pride in your work, you take pride in your accomplishments, the things that you do. When you take pride in fulfilling your word, your duty, your sense of honor as a man, it will change your view of yourself and your sense of self-worth tremendously. Right? And it's something that man children, boys who have not really become men yet will not understand. Right? So, and back to that point, sitting around playing video games all day, watching cartoons, jerking off to porn all day, it's not going to get you there, guys. Right. I haven't played World of Warcraft in many years, Donna. But based upon what you just wrote, I already know that you're going to be a troll. I can already tell my spidey senses are tingling. We just going to preemptively kapow you. Get out of here. Sometimes the spidey senses win. Right. We'll be right back. Let me check the Facebook. Right. All right. I'm back. What? I saw it too. What are we talking about? What did Max say that needs to be banned? All right. Well, what sort of stuff did he say? He deleted a nasty comment. Yeah. So what sort of nature was it? Rufio. Jason, have you ever spoke to David Lay personally? I think it's known that he built a base off your program. I've never spoken to him, but he said that to my knowledge. Max didn't do nothing. He said the same stuff as a previous troll about Warcraft. What? Yeah, I don't know. It was very well. I don't necessarily believe you, Dad, because you want everyone, but you're trying to get site banned. She hasn't done anything. He used to be big on the basic barbell lifts. Not sure why people go away for that stuff, right? No, Ace Caber, I'm not interested in Ozempic. What do you mean help with my weight loss? I'm not trying to lose that type of weight. And anytime I really want to cut, I cut. Right? I'm just recomping right now on protein overeating. All right. No, I'm not interested in Ozempic. I lost 150 pounds before when I was younger with no drugs. So come on, guys. You know, I've seen people banned for less. Well, I didn't see what he said. So just strange, though, that he's deleting comments while I'm away. What do you think of people replacing the flat bench with an incline barbell bench in their training? I don't know. I suppose my question would be, why are they doing it? What do they expect to get out of it? You're going to end up with less chest development. And before people say Michael Hearn, but Michael Hearn reverse grip benches insane amounts of weight. So he is not a good example. All right. All right, I'll keep an eye on him, guys. Ridiculousness in here. Oh my God. See, I let Dad to troll, but I let him just stay because he's not malicious, and it's good for the engagements. You know, the views are down a little bit. We only got 10 viewers in here right now, but at least we got plenty of likes. We didn't get any super chats in here this morning. That's right. 2 hours and no super chats. What's up with that? Dad, you need to drop a super chat at this point. If you really want to be the king, you got to drop some money. Get on, I don't know what any of that means. What do you mean on Monjuro? What? I don't know what that means going to be. All right. True. Hit that like button, guys. Keep those likes going. I don't know why this dude needed to tell me he's a vegan in his comment in my Facebook stream. Like, seriously. Why do vegans need to tell you that they're a vegan? I don't get it. Why? Hold on, I could have been doing some other posting here. All right. Sorry, I got to remember to post all my little posts so that I get all those social media stuff going too. I'll come back to y'all. All right. Maybe time to wind this one down. Yeah. No, I mean, it's not even sun up. So I'm just sitting here. Only other stuff I'm going to do is post stuff. I don't even have any clients messaging or needing anything. Everybody's good. I haven't got a single client message the entire time we've been in here. Like, everyone's good. No, it's a Monday, dude. I'm going to lift weights. I left to make lunch and coach is still going. All right. There we go. Views are picking back up. We must revote against Dad. Good wisdom for Rupio, perhaps time. No, we're good. But it's not a running day, guys. It's a lifting day. So we're going to squat, bench, and deadlift. Do some dips, some pull-ups. Right? Yeah. So yeah, like Coach decided when it's time to wind it down. All right. But at least it's lively comments. Max malicious and full force. EJ, we're merely offering advice. Coach can ignore it. Exactly. Coach often does ignore the advice of others. The sun is not quite up yet. Yeah, the views are picking back up. They're slowly trickling up, guys. And they add up. That's all the ad revenue. The Facebook has been pretty dead, though, this morning. I don't know. Those are going to be hit or miss. All right. All right. When me and Roofer are in a live, numbers usually good. Has Coach ever live streamed his workout? No. And I have no desire to live stream my workouts. Yeah. Talk about something I really have no desire to do. That would be the top of the list. Plus, it wouldn't work for the way I like to document it. Because I like to have all of my footage still permanently. Right? So no, I have no desire. I like to have everything where I can find it. I have it all done by date. So yes, so even 600-pound deadlifts done years ago, I have all the footage still. I have them all backed up. Yeah. Yeah, I have no desire to stream and work out. And then trying to moderate any of that. And on top of that, I would make less money. You do understand that the mobile app live streams make the lowest money out of anything I've ever done per view. They're literally not even worth doing from a financial viewpoint. So I would literally lose money by live streaming my workouts instead of making the separate blogs. It would literally pay me less unless people drop super chats in every one of them. I got a lot of video. They won't let you push more ads. They run them at a low number by default. Let me tell you how bad it is. The most I have ever made on a mobile app live stream. You ready? From a single live stream. What do you think the most ad revenue I've ever made on the mobile app? The highest paid one ever from ads. Rufio, way less. EJ is pretty close, $1.80. $1.80. So from a mobile live stream on the mobile app, the most I've ever made from a single one was $1.80. I have vlogs that make $10, $12 just for the workout vlog sometimes. So why would I do the mobile app to live stream my workouts? And no, you don't get a free month of coaching. That's not going to happen. My business dude. And I get to put the vlog on all platforms, not just the tubes. Right? I think people forget that. I technically get more views on Facebook videos than I do the tubes. So just an FYI. The only place that it's more active on YouTube is my live streams. That's it. That's the only place I get more activity. Right? Because I've had like 5 comments on the Facebook one, and we have hundreds and hundreds in here on the same stream. It's not just about the per views. YouTube doesn't pay anything for pictures or the community tab. Right? Whereas in, I've made $1,000 off of a single picture before on Facebook. I don't see YouTube doing that. They need to monetize that community tab. You know, because I don't want to stream on a whole new platform that I don't know anything about. Yeah, it's just too much. Yeah, not really. Because then I've got to run three streams at the same time. And how much is it even paid? Like, is anybody making a living off of these for fitness content? Like, so that's what I mean. If you need to show me the money, like the guaranteed income, not hypothetical. I need to see the guaranteed, like, where's their monetization contracts? 11. Yeah, I don't think so. No. So yeah, it's a waste of time. Right? Complete waste of time. You know. So I've already have 2 streams going. I don't need another platform. Right? These get plenty of outreach. Yeah, but then I've got to learn a whole new platform, and I need you to show me the money. Yeah. Did you ever attend the YouTube Creator Network? No, I haven't. No. You know, keep in mind, guys, I already spend an enormous amount of time with my social media. So there's no point in adding another platform unless it's guaranteed money. Like, and it can't be a tiny amount because I don't have, I mean, then I'm now cutting into my sleep time. I'm cutting into my social life, everything. It better be like 50 grand a year. Like, to justify that. I just can't justify it otherwise. Like, if it's only $1,000 a year, I simply cannot justify it. Right? Yeah, Facebook is the best for creators overall. It's just the most diverse for what we do. Yeah. New young viewers doesn't help me. I can tell you as a coach, so also looking at clients, younger viewers are not worth anything. Plus, then you Chinese have access to stuff. Yeah. No, not really. No, TikTok's got problems. Yeah, they have cybersecurity issues. And even then, it's like, so what am I going to do with some 18-year-old followers? They're not going to hire me to coach them. That's why Facebook is also going. It's an older demographic. Older people have money. All right. So, yeah, they don't hire coaches. They can't afford coaches. So, keep in mind, all this feeds into my coaching business at the end of the day. So, you know, all right. But we might be about time to wind this down. Oh, well, no supers today. People's eyebrow. That's just easy. That comes by default. I didn't even have to learn to do that. All right. I'm going to wind down the Facebook. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to work on getting my workout started somewhat soon. Most important part of the day today. So I'm out, and I'll catch you guys later.